team comp, and obviously, slight gold lead, that slight 2,000 gold lead that they had, which 23 minutes in the game isn't as big as it would be, as it was, 10 minutes ago. But now giving up the dragon, it's, obviously taking the Baron. And I think that was just solely based on WG being so low from that fight. They weren't able to take both. Obviously, you'd love to see, you win a big average side team fight. You take Baron, you take Drag, but sadly for them, they were too low to take both. Obviously, only giving up second Drake isn't that big of a deal. If they take a lot from this Baron and able to get more ahead, they need to get this mid tower. They need to push the lanes. They need to get farm. If they are able to capitalize on this Baron and be able to have priority on the next dragon, get to Soul Point, I think that'll be really good for Ed.
Ooh. Okay. Astro trying to find something out. Predator being popped, I believe. No, it was not. Just a very, very fast Skarner boy. Luckily that Blast Planet able to save Thresh right there. A lot of times Thresh is out there, and so far he's been getting away, but sometimes also being punished as well. With this Baron, I'd love to see a 1-3-1 split this team up. They also do win the 5v5, but just more ground to cover. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think this next team fight is going to be what sets this game up. Especially, probably the next one's going to be for this third Drake. I don't foresee Purple trying to fight against this Baron. I will say I wish Red would push up more, at least take one tower. I know Rylion, obviously former AD carry for Purple, he, obviously hosting right now, likes to see a 1-3-1 with Baron. I would kind of agree with this comp. Obviously Vlad did not have the TP, but it really did. I would love to see a 1-3-1 and split up the members of Purple, because the thing about Purple's comp is they have to be together to stack that CC. If they can't stack that CC, they can't really counter the split push from Red. So I would have liked to see more of that, but still able to get some presence. They have all three lanes push, so hopefully there is still some vision for Red in that Dragon Pit, and then obviously in that top side jungle. I would like to see clear out the wards, use that Baron, use that lane presence that you just got to clear the vision, and it looks like that pink ward's been sitting outside the Dragon Pit for a while.
Yeah, and it's just free information for them. Unfortunately, Morgana trying to get, a little bit of vision. You did see them kind of going towards that side with that pink ward, but just not respecting the full 5v5.
Yeah, which I don't know, but I believe Vladimir's teleport will be up for the dragon fight. Obviously, Rayleigh just having to burn it. Manny and Volps will have their TP for the fight. Both TPs are up. So I'm hoping they don't keep Rayleigh in the top lane once that dragon spawns. Because once again, if they don't 5v5, they lose no matter what. They have to clump up together, and because that's what Purple's going to do. They know their team comp. They are going to stick together, stack that CC, and Purple has to counter that with the little bit of the sustain, from the Vladimir. Really going for 2 lifesteal items. They're able to out-sustain the CC, hopefully, and then just stack the damage that they have on Purple.
Yeah. If you are going to have someone like Aurelia that is ahead, that is a crucial part, go top lane, then you got to make sure the rest of your team is in position, and kind of warding off, not starting Dragon, but at least threatening it. So it's that push-pull of, are you going to be sending resources top, or are you going to give something, or are you going to get Dragon? With 2 already Ocean Drakes being taken over here by Purple, I'm hoping for a third one here, because that would definitely shift things back into their favor. But it looks like all the vision getting cleared out. It's one thing to get it, but it's another thing to keep it. And if you're going to place it and leave it, you might as well just not place it at all. Really good grouping right here. Malphite trying to come towards that backside. Will be spotted out by wards. But we'll see, how much greed and zealous they have, or if they're going to play this nice and slow. We'll see if a priority pick does get for the Skarner. He does have Flash available. Predator also is available. He might be looking for the long way around. This is something where they want to play it nice and slow, depending on how far Skarner goes. Will be scouted out. Shyvana looking for a primary target right here. Does pop it in. Skarner alt suppressing that. Hourglass coming in as well. Nice alt usage by Aurelia and just zooming everywhere, getting everyone. Ash on the backside, able to survive a little bit here, but it's unfortunately going down as well. Morgana looking to be caught out. Nice triple kill there by Jin, and unfortunately not the fight that they wanted.
Yeah, Vladimir is starting to get real big. Shyvana WG lives there. I was a little worried. You know, he was very extended. Pretty much 1 versus 5ing there for a couple seconds before his team was able to follow up. Burn the stopwatch. I'm assuming it looks like he's building for that Zonia's, so he will be able to do that play again once he finishes that Zonia's. You know, Shyvana, especially AP Shyvana, obviously being very bursty. You know, you get that initial ultimate, and then you get that E, and then you kind of, you know, don't have as much DPS after that. Get that initial burst off, you know, like he just did, and then Zonia's, and let the team follow up with that consistent DPS you have with the Vladimir, with the Aurelia, with the Jin. Jin also hasn't died this game, by the way.
I'm just watching the replay. I went back and played it in
No!
slow motion. Did I miss something big? What
Uh,
did I miss?
Red just gave away Baron. Skarner
Oh,
flashed in and stole it, and they killed Shyvana and Thresh.
all right. Back to live here. I will cast. But yes. I watched the replay again. The Aurelia ult plus the Vladimir E, empowered E, and top of that Shin. It was a disgusting amount of AoE, and without that timing, I think the fight would have been a little bit more of that 50-50 mark. But essentially, that Shyvana was able to hop in for free, get that damage off, and they spent a good 4 to 5 seconds, unfortunately, trying to kill Shyvana while, you know, that backline, the Malphite, popping up 2 or 3 people right there, and a really good job. But once again, there's no follow up, so, you know, how much of that can you do with that help? So unfortunately, Bear not going over to the team that would like it, but let's see if they push a little bit more and they can take advantage of it. That's Bear number 2, I believe, of the game.
Yes, they still got Dragon, so it's not like, you know, they lost a lot. They gave up Baron in 2 kills. We'll see what Purple would do with it. I mean, obviously being 5,000 gold behind, not as much you can. They are, you know, they have Manny has had this top lane push a lot, but he's getting cut out right now.
Yep. Vladimir coming over as well as Shyvana and Thresh. A little bit of extension using that flash on Unstoppable Force as well. Might be looking for the Blast Clone. I don't believe it's available. Thresh on the other side. Also, too, being able to just CC a little bit. And Vladimir just popping him as well with a 600 gold bounty now. Mass amount of damage. Meanwhile, on the midsection, tower going down. So a nice little trade there.
Yeah, Purple did get that mid turret, so got some of that gold. Only losing the Malphite, but getting chased by Red right now.
Last cone going over. Morgana not going on the correct side of that, but still doing well. Aurelia's looking for something technically here. I think they should just back off and kind of reset here. We'll see what they do. Thresh getting binded, but no follow up, just walking away casually.
I mean, I do understand the chase. They want to burn out this Baron as much as possible, but Sylvie getting cut out.
Once again, we see the sport just trying to clear and get a little bit of a greed. You do have part of the team there, but not everyone. Jen's about a good 2 seconds away. Does unfortunately sustain. They should feel very lucky. Nice really alt. Shyvana going in and murdering Ash. And now Graves is on the menu next. Shyvana just running around and a nice, well-timed skill shot just takes him out. Malphite trying to trade back a little bit. Unfortunately not getting it. And I might be eating my words here. Thresh might be having a big brain play in his head, and we are just not quite seeing it, but it is a risky one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in the comms, I know for a fact Sonar is, you know, guys, that was all planned. I baited them out. That was 100% calculated. I mean, yes, he does cut out. He does love to
Can
get
confirm.
that aggressive vision. Seeming to be biting him in the butt this game, uh, but every time just narrowly getting out alive. So it's working. I mean, obviously now you have an 8-0 and 9 Jin that we haven't even talked about. Curse Gitano has been landing a lot of these roots with his W and throwing out consistent damage. Now he's finished his third item. Still a very scary Jin. He's got the Collector, he's got the Gale Force, and he's got the Lord Doms to fight this Malphite who only has he built the Spear Facade, so he doesn't have all armor items. Jin obviously able to break down some of that armor. Probably one of the few people that can kill in this game. And then just gonna take the soul.
Ash ult coming in trying to find someone. By then, it's kind of a little too late. But yeah, like you said, Jin's kind of being the unsung hero of the backline here. Just really nice positioning, staying in that backline, supporting his team while he can with that, root that he does. So it's one of those where the entire team across the board is doing really well. Not putting, one person on the pedestal, but everyone kind of working as that unit. Possibly a little bit of a catch out here, really going back in the backline. Malphite ult trying to capture that as well. Jin almost capturing out. Skarner on the backside trying to grab someone. Unfortunately not able to. GA popped for Aurelia. Siobhan also trying to get that Malphite. Very, very tanky. Letting that Ashe get a little bit there. Aurelia going towards the backside towards Ashe. Jin stunning him up, and Aurelia will be taking that kill. Unfortunately, Malphite, just as tanky as he is, just caught out a little too much and for the team, and Morgana and Graves will be the last two available.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be going for the end here. 15 seconds on the Skarner, 25 seconds on Ashe. They are, however, going for the top inhib. Just took a lot there. Now they're 11,000 gold up. They have the soul. They have the damage. They have the scaling. Yes, Purple did come back there mid-game. I was very impressed with a lot of their plays, but honestly, I just don't think with their team comp they can win at this point. Next Baron, most likely going over to Red. They have all their aggressive wards moved up. They know exactly where Purple is going to be when they start that Baron, which I'm assuming they're going to start going for. Especially when you have two inhibitors down, Purple's going to have to deal with those super minions. So Red's just going to have full priority on this Baron. There's probably going to be one more big fight for this Baron. And Purple basically has to win this fight and possibly take Baron, or else this is probably going to be the nail in the coffin for them.
Yeah, with those super minions coming down, it's only it's a time game, How much do you commit and how much do you leave? You still do have two towers there, so, you can tank quite a few, but at the same time, getting caught out. Graves right here. Nice comboing right now, and really good pick out. Chasing down the Skarner, not sure if they should do that. They might be high-tail turning it back towards Baron, it looks like. Skarner not able to help at all, and Ashe being back at base. This should be an all but free one, unless, Morgana bind, the Murky Waters come out. But unfortunately, those are kind of the only option here to steal. The immunity only gets you so far, as well as the Morgana ult. It does find two people, and she is going to walk out scot-free. Ashe Arrow bypassing, and they should just be pushing mid and looking for it after they back and regroup.
Yeah, there's just only so much Purple can do at this point. I mean, and then Cappy, once more, gonna kill Mustard again, possibly the binding going out, saving him. But he's got the phase rush.
Ignite going down to Flash ult. Oh, you hate to see it. This Vladimir is doing a little too much damage at 325 farm right now. It is ridiculous. He is hurting like a freight truck, along with the rest of his team as well. A lot of bounty gold, 700, 2 150s. It's looking like a push to the end.
Yeah, and we're 38 minutes into the game. That was a 46-second respawn time for the Morgana. So probably going to come in right before they fight. But the thing is, Purple not only as fighting against a Baron, fighting against a 12,000 gold deficit. They can't even have a presence because they're already looking at a 4 versus 5. Morgana just coming up, so they're just having to turtle. And this is not a team that has this amazing wave clear, especially against Baron empowered minions. Really, only that the Graves are probably able to clear out these waves. Do we have a Runehands on Ashe? No, we don't. It's just a Shield Bow and Wit's End. So Ashe doing her best, but I mean, these minions are just breaking on the base. Shyvana has Zonias, though.
Yeah, you have to make the hero play right here. A lot of CC coming in. Does find the Shyvana, but the rest of the team here able to dive in that back line. Just that one shutdown, unfortunately, going towards the Shyvana, but the rest of the team just cleaned up. Like you said, 40 minutes in, death timers. GG.
GG XRising ESports. Congratulations on a hell of a series. Yeah, my game's currently doesn't want to exit, but wow, just all right. I want to see the damage.
I got that for you just in case something happens.
I'm foreseeing a lot of damage on Cappy on this Vladimir.
Yes. 31,000.
Yep. 31.5 thousand damage. That is just ridiculous. Like we said, they just had the damage. I mean, the CC did really well for Purple in the mid game, but after the scaling and losing a few objectives, they just weren't able to come out and just match the team comp of Red.
Yeah, it was just the damage chart when you look across, Graves doing 18, Ashe doing 16, Malphite doing 16. It was even spread across the board, but just the lack of wave clear, the follow-up after the engages, the getting picked out, there was a whole bunch of things working against them. There was a point in time, too, where, it looked like the tables were being turned a little bit there.
Turntables, yep.
Yeah, it was just a whole bunch of, once they got the vision, they didn't keep it. Then they had to, start forcing the fights again. When they were, taking it at their pace, planning out and getting what they wanted, then Purple's doing great. But then as soon as Red kind of regrouped, started having them make the mistakes. And that's when it all turned.
Hey, Gitano, so my dry spell ended.
Good.
I just got 1.4k gaps. Thank you, Red. having faith for when I go to Shreveport on Tuesday. But yeah, honestly, great series. I had a lot of fun. Super one-sided game 1, super one-sided game 2, but that was a close game 3. Obviously, Red had such a huge early lead, and then Purple said JK that we're not gonna let that happen, and Red said JK, we are gonna let it happen. What a roller coaster.
Really, really good back and forth. Definitely games not to be, upset about. And, at the end of it too, there's a whole bunch of back and forth and witty parties between everyone, good sportsmanship. I don't see anyone, going crazy over these games, and they have been for fun. And, it's really good to see the environment of the entirety of this league.
Right. And I think we are frozen.
Yes.
So
I love your face. You said like a Sour Patch Kid, and you're like, ooh.
I know, right?
MVP, who are you taking out for this?
I hate this. I hate when I feel like every member from both teams is just playing so well. Me personally, as a former Nasus one trick, I'm going to give it to Techi. One, playing exceptionally well on the Aurelia. It was banned for a reason. Playing with huge big dick energy, honestly, in that second game. There were some times he should not have gone in, did, and then lived for some ungodly reason. But also getting, like 800 stacks on the Nasus in the first game and literally slapping the cane on the Kog'Maw twice and killing him. Like, I think just based on just results, I want to give it to Techi. Everyone played exceptional, especially WG and Cappy. The bot lane struggling a lot during the first 2 games. So I would give it to probably Techi, and then maybe Cappy just for his consistency, especially doing a buttload of damage on that Vladimir. I personally give it to Techi, and that's where I'm going to throw it. But I understand if Cappy gets it as well.
Yeah, I threw mine for Tetchy as well. Cappy, once again, like you just stated, really good consistency from game 2 and 3, as well as, bot lane, they get a shout out too, because all 3 games, it was just, a back and forth where the team wasn't, announced to them, whether they would win or lose based off of how they did. They were both consistent for both teams as well, which is really great. Sonar gained a whole bunch of vision, scored over 100 vision score again. But Jin, untouched. Really, really nice. And that's also due to the team communication, positioning, that support. So I can make, a vouch for, almost the entirety of the team. So there won't be a sad mummy at the end of this for who wins or who loses.
Right, and Civi is known for his vision score. Doubled my vision score the game I played against him. Kind of worked against him a little bit this game, getting caught out a lot, trying to get that aggressive vision. Obviously, I think the last time that happened, it did end up being a 3. Was that 3-0 or 3-for-1?
Yeah, I think it was a 3-1.
Yeah, like I get caught out, and then we get 3 kills. Like, oh darn, oh, hate to see it.
To see that happen.
Calculated.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like we got another tie. We've been getting a lot of these lately.
Oh,
so I'm gonna
to
go ahead and pull both of them in. We're all for fairness here at Team Gap. If they both win it, they both get to come in. Nothing wrong with having more people in the caster's desk. So I'm gonna bring both of them in, and welcome, Kaffy and Techi. Congratulations on your win, and congratulations on getting MVP for the game.
Thank you.
Very solid performance from y'all. I mean, we expected a nutty game, with y'all being top 3 in the standings, playing for the seeding. Since I do believe that we did lock playoffs, just based off of scoring. So, did y'all know that going in, or was it just kind of a playing it week by week situation?
I think it was more playing it week by week, but we were very confident every game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think that week for week, we definitely focused on playing our champs as much as we could, and really kind of getting these strong team fighting comps, and just really shutting out these other teams and not letting them take any objectives.
Yeah, I mean, especially that second game, or that last game, taking the first 2 Drakes, taking the first Baron, looked really good for y'all in the early game. But obviously, Purple hitting back in that last game. What were the comms like when Purple was winning team fights again? They were taking objectives again. Did y'all have a mental reset? It was like, hey, slow down, keep going. What was going through y'all's minds?
Yeah, that was basically it. We were really happy. We were like, yeah, we're doing good in the early game, and then they started to come back a little bit. We were like, okay, just continue doing what we're doing, but watch out, that stuff.
And I really want to give props to Soviet. Soviet is a really good support for us. He's always granting vision. He's running around. Just really, he makes probably 75% of our calls.
Soviet the man.
And his calls are smart.
I don't want to give him too much credit, because when I cast with him, that's all he's going to talk about. The Caster Alliance. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. And he's also known for his Thresh, and he did so much that last game.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got a little overzealous with some of his warding, getting caught out several times. Obviously, the last time working out in y'all's favor. But Tom, do you have anything for them at the moment?
Yeah, game 3. Were you surprised that they allowed you to have those comfort champions that you had?
Oh boy. We were hype in comms.
Yeah,
we were freaking out. We saw all the comfort picks come out, and we were like, "Whoa, okay."
And then also, game 1 was kind of a, definitely we're gonna ban this Kindred out. I know it was a really rough matchup mid and throughout the entirety of it. After that, how did you guys regroup for game 2? And then, what was your plan for executing that?
Yeah, you go. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. I honestly believe that like in our second game, like we definitely did. We were just mental reset. Like we just kept going on, like it was a normal another game. Which I think you guys have said before that we're able to do. And like I don't know, I just got on that Nasus and I was able to sit top lane and just Q minions, Q minions, Q minions, and I just got huge and I could walk through people.
As a Susan man myself, love to see it. It
Yeah,
just it
we're
gets me
both seasoned
excited.
players. Season 3 and 4, I was a NASA's one trick, and
Not
I
nice.
was trying to predict your first back. So I was like, okay, you're into the Malphite. You have 900 gold. I was like, oh, he's just gonna get Merc Reds. You come back with a Sheen and Ionia boost. And I was like, oh, he's trying to big dick it.
He's going full
Okay.
damage.
Oh yeah. But no, if you actually look at like my OPGG, I have no Nasus games. I haven't played him
Yeah.
in
Pocket
quite a
pick.
while.
I mean, our top laner played it a couple weeks ago and basically did the
And
same thing. So
steamrolled
might be
through
seeing
us.
more.
Yeah, that was us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry, guys. So I guess
No, it's good.
you remember
Jeez.
that, like, hey, so like
Hey.
remember the Nasus from?
You
a
guys
couple
gave
weeks
me
ago?
inspiration, all right? That's why I picked it.
I'll take it. So I guess we'll see who gets to pick that during playoffs. So
For sure, for sure.
hoping to see some more Nasus games. But Cappy, I mean, I know you had that rough game the first game, but how did you come back from that? Seeing the 11-0 Kindred, like, did you were you planning to pick the Orianna originally, or like you just wanted like, all right, the first game wasn't going to work out on the Akali. I'm going to go for a comfort control mage. Was that planned, or was that just kind of on the whim during draft?
Yeah, that was kind of planned. I think it was like, I don't know, halfway through like the tail end of the first game, and I was like, okay, we need to just next game just freaking reset everything, think it through a little bit more, stuff like that. And with the Akali, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty tilted that I was doing so horrible and like all this other stuff. But after the match, I just looked at him like I only died 4 times, and it was there. The Kindred had a whole lot more resources. It wasn't just me that was like giving her all. And I was like, I didn't do that bad, so I can still, do well in the lane in the other games. So then we just, picked Oriana and picked Vladimir, and yeah.
Love to hear it. Is there anyone y'all want to shout out before we exit this interview?
I think aside from Soviet, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't need the
WG.
jungler. Report the jungler. Don't need him.
I mean,
Hey,
he did a
well,
really good job of keeping a cool head.
in the last game, we definitely knew that Irelia Shyvana was a good pick.
Oh, yeah.
We've done it before. It was really strong, so we knew we could really bring that into game 3 and really just run it down.
Oh, I know you clapped us with the Shyvana. Don't worry, I remember.
Oh, big
Did not
props to
forget that.
our East.
Hey, it's only fair for the Nasus.
That's fair, but yeah, congratulations. That should put y'all securely in second place, depending on your games next week.
Yeah.
Based on the standings, you might be seeing purple again in the first round of playoffs. Seed 2 playing seed 3, depending on how Gray does next week versus yours truly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all's games next week. Y'all played super clean. It was such a good series. Gitano, do you have anything left before we roll on out of here?
Nope, just no more dad jokes. And then we'll be good to go.
Oh, I don't. Did y'all hear the dad joke early?
Oh my god.
Did not.
I'm proud of it. So he's talking because we did predict, like, okay, hypothetically, if this Nasus gets fed, like, how is this game going to pan out? And I was like, it's going to be a real challenge for him to be able to kill this Nasus.
Don't laugh at that.
What's really funny is Gitano actually called the same thing with my Irelia last week.
I did. Yes, I did. And like, I'd hate to say it, but teams, like, when you're drafting, you need to realize what happens. Like, if this happens, where are you going to go with it? And if top lane gets ahead and you don't have anything to answer for it, unfortunately, you're pulling resources. So really good times. I'm, both times pulling those resources, getting those up, and being, a stable anchor for your team to, play out the rest. So really good job there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then also mid as well. I play a whole bunch of Orianna. Your ults, your shielding, your speeds up. Like you're doing a really, really good job as well of, placing everything and trusting your team when you have to. So honestly, your whole team just looked very solid. Even that first game, it didn't go the way that you guys wanted to, but just the mental resets that your team has, I really appreciate watching that.
Yeah, well, thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We're going to go ahead and call it for the night. Once again, I am Primus Multis, sitting here with our boy Gitano, MVP, going to Techi and Cappy, playing amazing this game. Congratulations, Team Red. We'll be seeing them next week for our last week of Team Gap regular season. Basically, going to be playing for seeding, but we'll be going to playoffs shortly after with the top 4 teams in Team Gap Little Silver. Thank you again. I am Primus. I hope you have a wonderful night. Ryline, go ahead and take